Hello friends and family. I'm out here with my tomato plan. So this is the plan. The tomatoes this year are in the backyard garden. This is the south side, but it gets a lot of shade because of all the trees around me. I had to relocate them this year from the side raised garden bed area because of all the bugs and all the disease that was attacking these last year. So they're not going to get as much sun. I don't know how they're going to do, but behind me is the east, and then it goes all the way over and sets to the west, except for the arborvitaes block the sun around 5:30 p.m. So we'll see how they do. I mean, this used to be my main garden in the center there, where I had tomatoes, zucchinis, and cucumbers, just like 2 of each. That was my original gardening. I think back in 2016. Okay, so this is the garden plan. This is the tomato plan. I have these T-bars, T-posts. They're fairly tall. That's 5'9", maybe 6 feet once they're in the ground. And I have this wire that I've had used as arches last year. And the arches worked good. You know, this type of wire fencing actually worked pretty good, holding up the tomatoes. Even though I was, putting cucumbers on them, the tomatoes, it came in handy for the tomatoes too. So this is what I'm using. I'm going to try to single stem them until I don't, which happens every year. I start single stemming them, and then whatever happens, and they just go crazy, and I don't even prune them. But these will hold them up because they had last year as arches. All right, so this is going to be the walkway. It's about a little over a foot. And over here, I know these are my tester tomatoes that I put out last week, and they've been holding up just fine. They're doing great. Except for something blew over and crushed this one, but it took root laying down, so I just covered it with dirt. And I just planted some other testers there. And they're doing fine. I'm gonna leave them. I know they're a little too close together, but it is what it is. I started a lot of tomatoes, so I got to just cram them in because I have no heart to just not plant them. I am already giving some away, and I'll show you that in a little bit. But anyway, so I have the tomatoes here. I'm gonna close this up with some fencing, maybe even some string, and have some indeterminate tomatoes there. So where we came in, the ones that are crammed there, those are determinate tomatoes, all determinate style. So they're just going to be bushy. They're really not going to get tall. And once they give me some tomatoes, they're probably going to come out, and I'll plant something else there. But the rest are indeterminate. And they're going to get planted right under the wiring. And this is the Roma row. That's Amish paste and Romas and San Marzanos for tomato sauce, pretty much there. These are the big slicers and the salad type tomatoes here, the Romas, and then I got some big beefs over there. So this area is going to be, I have extra tomato plants, so I'm going to put a big beef here. I have no more caging, no more of this type of wire fence, so I'm actually going to use a large tomato cage, and probably by the end of the season we'll have about 6 or 10 sticks around it holding up the tomato cage. Another big beef here, and I want space for peppers. I'm gonna have to, this whole thing I originally planned for peppers, but I gotta find something for my big slicers. So peppers don't mind being planted close together. They might even prefer it. this is a black-eyed Susan or a purple coneflower coming up. So I'm gonna relocate this. But these two are gonna need space, so those will be big slicers. Okay, so tomatoes, tomatoes, tomatoes. This side I'm gonna leave open. That side's gonna be closed up. And when we first came in, that's gonna be open. So there'll be two entrances into the tomato area because these are gonna be wired. I actually have this green fencing here I'm thinking of using. I mean, it's just to hold them up. I don't have to worry about getting my hands through them or anything, so I'm gonna use that. A neighbor gave that to me, and it's gonna come in handy this year. These arches are cucumbers. Last year they were beans. So I got some of those white cucumbers, those silver slicers coming up here. Boston pickling cucumbers coming up here. And these are just the market moors. That's a weed. It's not a market moor, but they haven't come up yet, the market moors. Gotta keep my eye on that. Maybe they rotted or something. I might have to plant more seeds. And of course I will have access to these tomatoes from walking under this arch too. Then I'm gonna lay out some drip irrigation, little sprinklers or drip, whatever I want to set this to. And I'm gonna line all the tomatoes with that. Connects to a hose. And I'm gonna have the same thing over by the leafy greens, raised bed area too. And when I turn on the spigot in the morning, everything's being watered, either this little slight light sprinkling or drip irrigation. And then I can go in, drink my coffee, make lunches, things like that, while the garden's getting watered. Because last year, you know, I would go out before work and water by hand with the, you know, the watering wand. So hopefully that'll work better this year. I haven't quite counted them yet, but I will. And over here, there's a blackbird there. I have the extra tomato plants, which I think I'm gonna put in the green leafy area against the white fence that back there. So, because these are indeterminates and they're gonna get huge, so they're gonna need something. These tomatoes are like the cherries. Oh no, here's a beefsteak. Oh, and a boxcar willy. Oh gosh, those are big. The Bonnie Best got dampened off. This one is a black vernissage. It's like a black cherry tomato. This one is a black cherry. This one, oh, a Martha Washington. That's big too. But I already have those in the new tomato garden. Sweet cherries, spoons. I'm really looking forward to those. I'm gonna find a place for those. These are beans. This is a yellow pear. So those are bushy and can go in pots. Okay, so that is the tomato plan. Thank you guys for stopping by and watching the video. I really love the comments. I love when you hit the like buttons. I'm so appreciative of everybody that visits and enjoys my gardening. Thank you so much for coming by, and I'll talk to you soon.